Okay, guys, welcome to the classroom where I taught for a number of, for a very long time. For one semester, I taught in this classroom here. And I would like you to notice that the classroom is quite bare. And if you walk into the classroom hoping to teach a lesson with the minimal supplies, there is one. You have a marker right there. So you have to bring your own supplies. You need your own markers. You need to be prepared if you intend to use the whiteboard. If you intend to use the computer or the projector, which is here, just above my head, if you intend to use the projector, then you must bring your laptop and a cable in order to connect to this outlet here. Okay. Audio, video, visual cable connection, and so forth and so on. So there's that. But you must be prepared for that eventuality or for that reality in the classroom. Now, I had 15 students in my classroom, all were male, and these were the facilities. So they walked into the classroom, there were a few desks set up for them, and oftentimes, well, on their end, they did not bring their pens and pencils, okay, or even notebooks. And so imagine if you want to do some work on paper, you have to, I suppose, what's the solution? You have to provide the paper for the students. This is your desk. This was my desk. I did not have anything, inside of the drawers, and I didn't have a key because this was only my property for 2 hours out of the day. Notice that, the classroom at this point, right now, it's quite bare. Even for the number of desks in the classroom, there is an insufficient number of chairs. Usually that wasn't always a problem. There were enough chairs in this classroom when I was teaching, so that wasn't a problem. Okay, and the ACs work. There's no problem with the ACs. The clock on the wall over here worked. The projector, the screen, just pull that down and you go from there. This particular classroom did not have Wi-Fi, so even when I had a computer, even when the computer was provided to me by administrators, I did not have access to Wi-Fi here in this classroom. When I entered the classroom, I usually did not have access to a cable. There was no cable here, and I guess I had to carry the same cable around, which I eventually did, carried a cable around from classroom to classroom, so I would always have one, and I'd be prepared. But this is the bare bones. This is the minimum. This is what I encountered. And this is what I encountered, but this is not necessarily typical for this college. As I was informed, Wi-Fi is available in some of the other classrooms. So I was, for lack of a better term, I was neglected and being given this classroom. How did I overcome these challenges? I used markers. I brought markers to class. I brought the cable to class to use the projector. I used and relied upon materials that I had from previous years of experience teaching, and that is what I went by. And very little support. I did not receive any, if at all. I didn't receive much, if any, support from the administrators. I was given books on the first day and told go teach. And weekly, I asked my colleagues for information about, what to expect and how to manage or how to deal with certain issues. And I got a variety, a plethora of a very different, a cornucopia of advice, okay? And I employed some of their advice, and I employed some of my own techniques from my own experience, but to no avail. I have not been asked to return to this college to teach, and the time that I spent acclimating to this environment and was, it was unfruitful. So that's it. Just to give you some idea what to expect if anyone were to teach here, this could be your classroom, bare bones as it is, and you'd be expected to teach. Okay? Now, as far as the students go, I learned after about 4 weeks into the job, I learned that the students are paid. The students are paid to attend classes, so there was very little motivation, and yeah, there's very little motivation. They just want to get their attendance marks, and beyond that, you know, English doesn't have the appeal. Learning a language doesn't have the appeal that you might think that, or that you might like it to have among the student body. The students were very uninterested in learning English, practicing English. So there's that challenge there. And I had games and I had activities that engaged them and challenged them and reflected the material that was in the textbook that I had received. So I think that I did my job with that regard, or in that regard, but this experience left a lot to be desired from the students, from the student body, and that's it. All right, so this is the classroom where I taught.